Howdy, and welcome back for another installment of World in Flames Collector's Edition, Days of Decision 3 Combined Game Playthrough. We are on the January-February 1943 turn. I have done the Force Pool additions to the cups. I just wanted to make a note that last turn kind of ended abruptly, and so this turn I'm not expecting it to be very long either, because the weather modifier, the weather generally in January, February is usually pretty miserable, and the impulse marker moves up a lot and then the turn is over. So I'm not really expecting the turn to last all that long, but you never know. So anyway, let's get right into it. Let's take a look at starting money. Starting money for the major powers for the January-February turn stands at Germany at -6, Japan at 1, Italy at 0, the Soviet Union at 1, the Commonwealth at -18, US at -6, China at -2, Free France at -8. Now there are several major powers. Generally, I think everybody except the fascist major powers are eligible to gear up, so I'm expecting that. Also, before we go over the bids for the major powers, the political phase ended abruptly last turn, so you got 4 major powers that are getting bonus bid points this turn. So I have recorded the bids for the major powers. Let's go over to the political track and take a look at that. So we have 7 major powers bidding, and they all bid 1. So it's the Commonwealth, the USSR, Italy, USA, Germany, Japan, and China. So they all bid 1. So let's just see what they got for modifiers and how the order shakes out. So the Commonwealth bid 1. They get 7 bonus bid points from last turn because they didn't get a political option. Their 4th place position is a +2. That gives them 10. That's going to put them in 1st. The Soviets, they also bid 1. They also get bonus bid points this turn because they didn't get a political option. They're in the 6th position. That gives them another +1. So that's 6 + 1 + 1. That's a total of 8. That's going to be good enough to put them in 2nd. Italy also bid 1. They also get bonus bid points of 3. So you got a bid of 1. Their 5th place position gives them 2. That's 3. With the 3 bonus bid points, it's a total of 6. That's going to put them in 3rd. The USA bid 1. Their 1st place position from last turn gives them a +4. That's a 5. That's good enough to get them 4th. Germany bid 1. Their 2nd place position from last turn gives them a +3. That's going to be good enough to put them in 5th. Japan bid 1, +3. That's 4. That was tied with Germany, but the German political effectiveness is much higher than the Japanese, so they broke that tie. Just mention that. Japan goes down to 6th. And China bid 1, got 1 bonus bid point for their political effectiveness, and they got 1 for their current position. That's 7th. And the Free French did not bid. The last card goes on the Commonwealth, and the last card goes on China. We'll see if the political phase is any longer or shorter than it was last turn. Alright, Commonwealth is up. Let's go see what they are going to do. Pretty sure I can probably guess what they're going to do. Okay, the Commonwealth is gearing up. Now, their level 2 treaty partner is going to pay for this. That would be the U.S. So it's going to cost 10 total. I've already put out the 2 markers that matter. There's no U.S. entry because the U.S. has already entered the war. So we just go and activate a minor at this point. There isn't really a whole lot to activate. Gotta find something, I guess. The Commonwealth of all places has decided they're going to activate Ireland. Let's grab the markers, come over here to the status display. Alright, what we have is we have a 4 US, -1 Japan, and -2 Commonwealth. So we'll activate the Japanese one first, it doesn't matter. 1 point is not going to move the marker. It takes actually 2 to move 1 hex. Not accounting for boundaries and treaties. Ireland has no treaties, so. Alright, now we'll activate the Commonwealth. That's a -2. That's going to drive the Irish marker this way. 1 hex, because the Commonwealth is over here, off this way. And you can see it right there. Now we'll activate the 4 US. US is over here. It's going to drag the marker towards the US. 2 hexes. And there she stands. Okay, there's no roll to end the political phase. So we'll move the last card marker down to the Soviets. And they are up. I'm pretty sure I know what they're going to do. Grab the paper. And the Soviet Union is going to gear up. Right there. It's going to cost 10, which the level 2 treaty partner of US is going to pay. I will put the markers out. Not sure any of this is really relevant. Denmark, Finland, Hungary, Iraq. There's a -1 in Norway. And a -2 in Turkey. So I'll put those out and come right back with activating a minor. Okay, the Soviets get to activate a minor. They have decided they're going to activate Turkey. They want to try to keep Turkey from entering the fascist ideology. So I will grab all the markers. We'll head over to the status display. Show you where Turkey is. It's way down there in the bottom of the fascist ideology. We have a -2 Soviet. We have 3 for the Japanese. A -1 US. A 1 Italian. And a -1 Commonwealth. Alright. So the Turkish markers right here. Well, all the ones are not going to do anything. So the -1 Commonwealth, the 1 Italian, and the -1 US all do nothing. Now we have a -2 for the Soviet and a +3 for Japan. Now here again, this is actually important how this is activated, because if the Soviets activate the Japanese first, it's going to drag it into the fascist ideology, because it will cost 3 points to enter that hex. And then the -2 Soviet will just push it here. It actually ends up closer to the fascists by doing that. So what the Soviets are going to do is they're going to activate 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, they're still within 11. They're going to activate the -2 Soviet. See how this works, right? It's going to drive it 1 hex away. Now we're going to activate the 3 Japanese. Okay, that's going to cost 2 for this hex. This hex would cost 3 more, which would be a total of 5. They only had 3, so they don't have enough. So the Soviets actually, it worked out a little bit in their favor this way. So they're kind of happy with the way that turned out. Okay, there's a +2 to the die. There have been 1 previous political option played. So the political phase cannot end. So we move on to the Italians. Let's go see what the Italians are going to do. The Italians are going to try to demand some Vichy territory. doesn't have a real good chance of succeeding, but they're going to try it anyways because it costs 3 money if successful. If it don't succeed, that don't matter. Okay, so anyways, let's see what it's got to be. A die roll of 1 or less to succeed. 1 or less. You're rolling 1 or less on 1 die. Cumulative modifiers to the die is a half a point per sea area or territory between the territory being demanded in Vichy. There are 2 because they're going to demand Algeria. So that's a -1. -1 each initiative position lower than the controlling major power. Italy is 3, Germany is 5, so that's another -2, so that's -3. And I think that's it. So it's going to be a -3. Total of -3. Let's roll a die and see what happens. Let's roll a die and see what happens. All right. Oh. Italy rolls a 3. So 3 minus 3 is 0, which is less than 1. So the demand for the territory succeeds. And Algeria now becomes Italian. And I don't know if they get to activate a minor. Half of Vichy major power war chart. Half Vichy major power war chart. Okay, I gotta put some markers out and I'll be back with Italy activating a minor. Okay, so Italy gets to activate a minor. It's one of the things I've noticed about this is that late in the game, you basically, like for major powers like Italy, they run out of minors they can activate. There isn't anything to activate. They don't have anything to control. So I think what they're going to do is they got no good options, so they're just going to take the Saudi Arabia option. All right. That's right there. We'll grab the markers. They're not going to move, so I'm not even going to go over to the status display. Just take them off. Yeah, it's not even going to move it. Oh, we got to roll to see if the political phase ends. There is a +2 to the die. There's a -2, so nope, it's not going to end. That's just straight up. A 1 will end the political phase. That is hilarious. So much for the political phase. It's over. Italy rolls a 1 in shafts, America, Germany, Japan, and China. All right, off to a great start. Okay, so I'm going to record that all those major powers are going to get bonus bid points now. And I will roll initiative, I'll roll weather, and I will come back and take a look at reinforcements. So the initiative roll came out a 10 for the Democrats, a 9 for the Communists, and an 8 for the Fascists. But when we take the initiative, ideological initiative modifiers into effect, the Democrats actually ended up rolling a 9 because they have a -1. The Communists have a 0 modifier, so that's a 9. And the Fascists have a +2 modifier, which gives them a 10. So it means they actually won the initiative. Thinking that the weather in January, February is not going to be all that special, they decided that they were going to move last, the Fascists. And then the Communists and the Democrats decided the Democrats would go first and the Communists would go second. Democrats are okay with this because they can get their convoy escorts out before the Germans decide to do something with their subs or fleet or whatever. So, all right, let's go take a look at reinforcements. Reinforcements for this turn. Something like this. That's the Soviet reinforcements. Not a whole lot. Here's the U.S. reinforcements. They actually got an Essex-class carrier this turn. Some of this stuff is repairs, like the Arkansas and the Colorado. Those are repairs from damage. The Chinese got a infantry division, nationalists. The Germans got a couple of ships, some subs, night fighter or CAG. some armored units, some infantry, and they built a factory. The Japanese got some more CAGs, got a couple of ships, a DE unit, built some tankers, and a couple of territorials. The Italians, again, a couple of ships. I think those were repairs from damage. They also got another carrier and a sub. The Commonwealth got a bunch of light cruisers. I think those were repairs. A couple of infantry units. First long-range sort of bomber, Wellington. Another night fighter. I got a really good transport, the Queens. That's a good transport. And they got a DE. And the final factory in London is repaired now. And I will get these on the board, and we'll come back with the first set of impulses. Okay, impulse 1 for the democracies. We saw the Commonwealth and the US take naval actions, move the fleet out, got the escorts in place, more escorts, more escorts, more escorts. American fleet came down here, tried to block off Cape St. Vincent from the Italians. Transports moving around. Some units moved to South Africa. And I think that's about it. I think so. I think that, oh yeah, down here in the South Pacific, the U.S. moved, moved a Marine unit up to Guadalcanal. And that was just staging because that still was a Commonwealth possession. And they staged some more units around. That was about it for them. Then we moved on to the Communists. The Communists have themselves a potential attack. Let's take a look at that. We're in the snow. Okay. So what we got over here, we got first we have a ground strike. Now the Germans got to decide. They have 2 fighters in range. They have this fighter here and this fighter here. Do they go after the ground striker, or do we try to get some ground support in after? Let him have his ground strike. Alright, so it's 2 units. The red die is the top one. This is going to be, this is snow, so tactical factors are halved, so that's a 1.5, which will be 2. Neither got a 10 and a 7, that's not going to do anything. So the ground striker is moving off this way. Oops. I'm going to go land back where now we do ground support. The Soviets are not going to throw in any grounds there. They're going to throw in this for ground support. And they're going to escort it with this fighter, this fighter. I think that's it I have in range. Unless I got some unit with like, no. These are all range 4 units. There we go. Yeah. Straighten up and stand straight here. Alright, so now the Germans will go in. They'll send this fighter in to intercept, this fighter in to intercept. We'll send this bomber for ground support. And this bomber for ground support. Yeah, we'll go all in. Why not? We could flip over a whole bunch of Soviet units if the Germans get lucky here. So let's see. We got the fighter stream and the bomber stream. It's actually going to be pretty close. Actually, yeah, it's going to be pretty close. The Soviets have 5.5. The Germans have 6.5. So it's going to be +1, -1. So the Germans roll first. They roll on the +1 column. And they roll the 7 on the +1 column. That is AA. Attacker, dice roller. Aborts defender's fighter or front bomber. Well, we'll get rid of that bomber. We don't want that. Actually, we'll abort the front fighter. So the front fighter aborts. They still get to roll though on the -1 column. And they rolled an 11, which is really bad. 11 DC. Defender clears through any one front bomber. Right? Any one bomber. So we're going to clear through this. And then roll again. I don't know if this is going to make a difference. Should the Soviets abort? Now it's 6.5 to 5. It's going to be +2. Yeah, we'll keep going. Okay, Germans on the +2 column. They roll a 16, which is always bad. 16 is DX. Defender destroys own front fighter or front bomber. They're going to destroy their front fighter, I guess. P-40E Kitty Hawk. And now we're going to destroy the bomber. And the pilot is actually killed. Because it's a over enemy territory and it's a yellow box. Okay, now the Soviets roll on the -2 column. They roll an 11 again. That's even worse. Okay, another German bomber goes through, and now they'll abort. So that's going to mess up the odds big time. So those 2 fighters got aborted. These 2 guys are going to be aborted. Oh, they're going to go back and flip over. Not aborted, it just flipped over. So we got 2 and 3, we got 5 extra factors here now. That's an 11. 11. Oops, we forgot something. Anti-aircraft. I better roll that. That might have made a difference. That's 8 points anti-aircraft. 8 points anti-aircraft. There's 2 enemy bombers, 4 dice, lowest of 4. Lowest of 4. 9 and an 8. And 2 10s. So that's an 8. That would make a difference. An 8 anti-aircraft. Okay, it's going to abort 1 German bomber. So that does make a difference. So the Germans get to choose. They will abort this guy. And he goes through. So now it's 9 points. 9 points. And we have for the Soviets, we have 9, 14, 22, 25, 29 and a half. To 9. 29 and a half to 9. That's a 3 to 1. We're going to use HQ benefits and give ourselves a +1. Because I really have to do half decent here. HQ benefits, this is going to be on the assault table. On the assault table. 3 to 1. +1. Roll a big old 6. 3 to 1 +1. That's going to make it a 7. 1 loss for the Russians, 2 losses for the defender. So So one loss for the Russians. That's not going to do anything for promoting anybody. We will lose the militia. And unfortunately, all the attacking units are flipped over. And destroyed a division. That gives me a point. Gives me a net point. So that's going to be a cadre. And the two German units, there's no, oh, I had an HQ. It doesn't make a difference. Yeah, he still outguns them, so it doesn't make a difference. Outguns them by 2, which means he still would have had a +1. Okay? Those are non-cadres. Alright, that's 1 point for Guards Banner Army. Let's look that up. Okay, I just want you to see the weather roll. Now that's a +1, so it's going to come out to be an 11. And 11 is going to be, let's go check it out. It's going to be nasty beyond nasty, and I don't think anything is going to happen much at this point. Even the Soviets are affected by blizzards, the white print Soviet units. I think so. They have a -1 odd shift. Okay, 11. And we have a blizzard and a blizzard. We have blizzard and blizzard. Then we have snow in the Mediterranean. That's cool. Nothing like snow in Egypt. Rain in North Monsoon. Storm and South Monsoon, and rain and South Temperate. Alright, and the weather roll gets a +2. And the impulse marker moves up 3 after every impulse. Alright, so I'm going to go to the Democrats and do them. And then the Soviets and so on, and I'll come back if there's an attack. So apparently I have lost the clip that contained the last fascist impulse. So what I'm going to do right here, before we move into the Democrat impulse, because I've already showed you the weather roll, is just give a brief summary of what the fascists did. And actually I hadn't completed it anyways. I still have an attack to do. Okay, so what happened over here in the Eastern Front was that the Germans retired a little bit. They retreated somewhat. They got a lot of air power, but some of it's actually upside down now. Down in the Middle East, down in Egypt, there was 2 bonehead attacks by the fascists. First, the Italians had a 4-1 against, I'll show you this hex. This hex right here. This hex right here, 4-1, after they had ground struck the HQ and succeeded in flipping it over. So they had a 4-1 attack on the Blitzkrieg table and rolled a 1. So that was really great for them. And at the same time, the Rommel and the Italians over here made a similar 4-1 attack here with a +2, and I think they rolled like a 4 or something, which was again basically nothing. And, you know, lose the unit and everybody's flipped over, which means that this area here for the fascists is going to be basically dead. There's nothing that's going to happen for the rest of this turn. Okay, the one attack that I have to do that I didn't show you, well, that I didn't record apparently because I'd forgotten before I'd lost that clip, is over here in Asia. The Japanese have an attack in the jungle right here. This is a North Temperate Zone. This is actually clear weather right now. They have a 4-1 right here. They're going to use HQ benefits. which will give them a +1, and that's going to be on the jungle. I think that's okay, defender's choice. So it's going to be on the assault table. 4-1 on the assault table. Well, the Japanese rolled an 8. 4-1. 8 + 1 is 9. Asterisk 2S. So the Commonwealth unit is gone, and that's not going to be cadred. India is the home country. Yeah, it will be. And the Japanese will be able to occupy that hex. They'll move in the flipped over HQ, the infantry, and the mechanized. I think the mechanized would flip over if I moved that in there. Mechanized, motorized, mechanized, 8 movement points. Yeah, probably not a good idea to do that. For 4 for leg units. So I get 4. Oh, he's going to flip over too. Well, in that case, we'll just move them all in. What difference does it make? They're all flipped over. No, we're not going to move that in. Instead, we'll put the artillery in there. That's much better. The Japanese are making some progress in India. In India. Alright. Okay, well, we'll move on to the Democrat impulse, and I gotta check to see what kind of weather the desert is gonna have when it's snowing in the Mediterranean. Not quite sure. Let's see, desert 6. Blizzard becomes snow, storm becomes rain, all the weather's clear. So it's going to be clear anyways. So I'll be back in a second to show what happens. Alright, the Democrats have an attack. They got an attack. We got a multinational force attacking this hex right here. We got HQ benefits, but they were canceled by the defending HQ benefits. So we're going to have a 4-1 on the Blitzkrieg table, -1. We got to get some air power over here. We need some air power. That's a 6, which -1 will be a 5. So on the Blitzkrieg table, a 5 on 4-1 is asterisk 1R. 1R, asterisk 1R. So the Italian unit dies. Yeah, he is toast. Toast. And half the attacking units can remain face up, so we'll turn that guy over. These two will advance into the hex. And he goes in the cadre box. He will be cadre. Well, that's not good. That's not good for the Italians. That's not good at all. Okay, well, that's the end of the Democrat impulse. There is nothing going on in the Commonwealth has some movement in India. And that's the end of that. Alright. Alright, we'll move on to the Soviets and see if they have anything. Go back to the fascist impulse. Japan took a combined. They just moved some units. As you can see, they moved up here in Burma. They also plunked out a Marine Corps. Moved over to Bougainville. Maybe they're going to give a fight for the Solomon Islands. Who knows? We do, however, have one attack by the Germans in Russia. This is a 6-1. because it's blizzard, the odds are reduced to 4 to 1. We have armor, which gives a +1. We are using HQ benefits, which gives a +2. And there are 2 flipped over Soviet units, which is another +2. So a total of +4. Total of +4 on the 4 to 1 Blitzkrieg table. There are no Soviet HQs nearby, so 4 to 1 +4. Well, that's different. We got a 7. That's an 11. That's asterisk 2B. Asterisk 2B. Well, I can't really advance because there's a Russian infantry army right behind them, but that will kill these two anyways. And no German units are flipped over. We will occupy the hex. And then we got a potential some potential sub fun over here. And the Pharos Gap in Blizzard. In the Blizzard. Alright, we'll just roll dice and see what happens. Well, a 10 and a 7 is nobody found anybody. So the subs couldn't manage to find the convoys. Yep, they kind of blow it at that big time. Alright, so we are at the end of the Fascist Impulse. We get to roll a die to see if the turn ends. It ends on a 2. A 6 is not a 2. Alright, we'll move up the marker. And now it's time to roll for weather. See what wonderful weather we get. We have a +2. It's unlikely to be fair. It's possible. Well, actually, it's over here. Alright. Actually, it's a +3. I'm sorry. It's a +3 to the weather roll. Well, yay. Alright. A 10 +3 is 13, which is 12 plus. It's blizzard, 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 and then some more blizzards on top of that. And after that, it's just going to be total garbage weather. So we got blizzards, Arctic, North Temperate, Mediterranean, rain in the North Monsoon, storm in South Monsoon, and storm in Temperate. So the weather is really... Oh, the impulse marker for a first time goes up 4. Goes up 4. And we have a +3 to the next weather roll. That's actually, if the turn does end here, that's actually bodes well for March, April. Because the weather chart is really, for March, April, is really bad at the top. Like from 6 down to 1 is really bad. But from like 8 down to 12, it's fair weather. So just to let you know how that works. Okay, so we are on the Democrat Impulse. I'll be back in a second and see if they actually do anything. I doubt they're going to. Okay, so the Democrats didn't do too much. With the really stellar weather, there's really not much they can do. They came over here and killed the partisan that was in India. So that helped that out anyways a little bit. And that was about it, I think. And we'll move on to the Soviet Impulse and see what happens. Okay, back to the Fascist Impulse. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of action in the Atlantic. So the die rolls were for searching were 4 for the Fascists, 4 for the Americans and the Commonwealth. They have 29 convoy points, which subtracts 3 from the die. However, it's snow, it's a storm, it's blizzard rather. That's going to add 2 to the die. And now it's going to add 1 to the die. So it's going to be all the subs except the Milchow. And add these 3 points in. So we got a total of 14 subs, 35 sub-attack points against 15 ASW, with the Commonwealth having a total of 16 ships. They have the Med fleet there, which is, you know, a few ships. Okay, so let's see. So the Soviets lost a corps, a militia corps, army, and the Germans lost an infantry corps and infantry division. The division counts half, which would be 1.5 points around to 2. So I upgraded a 8-4 Guards Banner Army to a 10-3 Guards Banner Army. That doesn't make much difference because it's flipped over at this point. And I think the Soviet impulse is done, and we will move on to the fascists. There is a total of 4 surprise points involved, and so what that does, the fascists are going to shift the sub-attack points 2 columns to the right. It's going to give them 4 sunk, 1 damaged, 1 aborted. They're going to take ASW, they're going to take 2 sunk subs. So we'll do the British first, or the Commonwealth and Americans. We got 2 sunk subs, so let's see. Let's try to get rid of the Italian stuff. They don't have any money, they can't afford it. Okay, we'll try to sink that one. That's an 8, and he is indeed sunk. And the other one, we'll go with this one. That's a 9, so he has to roll a 10 to save. And nope, he's sunk too. So 2 Italian subs going to the bottom of the Atlantic. Now, we'll start off with 3 convoys sunk. That's 3 convoys. And then the British player will select probably a ship. And I think they're going to take the Diomede. The Diomede. That is an 8 for a sunk. There we go. And nope, he is gone. And then the fascists will take another 3 convoy points. So we'll take 3 American tanker points. And then I guess we'll take another ship. Oh. Let's try the Newcastle. It's a 6. That might actually make it 6. And he's only damaged. He is only damaged. I'm going to put him here for being damaged. And let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we go to damaged. The fascist will select the Newcastle. If he doesn't save, then he will be sunk. And he saves. Now he's aborted. He's damaged and aborted. I'll just put him over there. And finally, an abort. We'll abort, I don't know, the Argus, the carrier Argus. It's not doing anything. Can't do anything in blizzard. Okay, it's aborted. Who cares? Alright, so that's the end of that turn for the fascists. Not much happened on the Eastern Front because, well, it's blizzard and there's a lot of units turned over and I really can't get any attacks in. The Japanese, the same thing. They're really bad weather. They really can't do much of anything. So they're all just kind of staring at each other. All right, let's roll to see if the turn ends. Look, I think it's a 7. I think it's a 7. It's because I think it is, doesn't mean it is. I rolled a 10. Ha! We're going to keep going. All right, back in a second. Can't make that up. Weather roll. 10 plus 3 is 13. Same weather as last time. Blizzard, 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 rain, 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 snow, snow, rain, rain, more blizzards. I don't think, and the impulse marker has now reached the very last box. So, I don't think the Democrats really have anything they can do or they want to do. I think they will be happy to roll to see if the turn ends by all taking a pass, and that's going to guarantee the turn to end. Because it's a 9 to roll for the turn to end, and it's plus 1 or minus something. It's a 1 modifier. Anyway, it's ends. It's over. Alright, I'm going to do the partisans, and I'll come back with production in a few minutes. Okay, I've just finished up production. Partisans, we ended up with 1 partisan in Greece. Right down there. And now production. So the Germans produced 50. They gave some away in Lend-Lease. They started with 43, and this is what they built. Some infantry, some coastal forts, some pilots. Finished a few more ships, some armor, an armored corps, an headquarters, some CAGs, some more subs. The Japanese produced 34, started with 34. That is what they produced. We got the you see that? Anyways, that's the Shinano. We got the Shinano. Well, no. Where is it? Let's see. Let's see. Let's see if I can get a good picture of it. That doesn't seem to want to focus. There we go. There she is. There's Shinano, a 6. Some American carriers are 7s, like the Midway. Okay, back to production. Italy. She produced a total of 20 with cadres and Lend-Lease, and started with 16 and spent 24. There we go, right there. We've got a Hungarian mechanized corps coming in. The Soviets produced 37. Got 3 in cadres and 6 from Lend-Lease. And they produced a whole bunch of stuff. Infantry, some armor, anti-tank, some motorized, some artillery. Total of 50 bucks spent. The Commonwealth is doing better now. They produced 32. They started with 13 because they had deficit spent so bad. And they ended up spending 27. There we go right there. Got some carriers coming in, laying down a bunch of ships. The United States produced 53. Their production dropped a little bit because they decided to actually save some oil. And they started with 26 after all the spending last turn and spent a total of 40. Some an amphibious unit, a service station, which is the service squadron, sorry, which is the thing that expands ports by 20 ships, minor ports. And we got a heavy bomber right there, B-17, I believe. Nope, I'm sorry, that's the Super Fortress, B-29. That'll look good over Germany. And finally, we have China. China was the big spender today. They built a infantry army, $3. That'll put them in a hole for 3. And Free France is at -7, and they spent nothing. That'll wrap up production. I'll get these on the wheel, and hopefully I get this turn uploaded soon. And thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Like and subscribe. See you next time.